Okay, so this one is from Mpumalanga. So let's look at this question, what we need to do here. So this is what we are given, and the first question says that, okay, so they say that this is a quadratic sequence, and then show that the nth term of the sequence is Tn is equal to n squared minus 42 and plus 360. So I'll just work on that now. So this is question 3. Right. So let me just quickly rewrite the sequence that was given. I'm not going to write a lot of terms. I just need few terms from that sequence to answer our 3.1.1. Okay. So to answer that 3.1.1, I need the sequence which is 319. We have 280. We have 243. And maybe I can put 208. Then now let's find the first difference of this term. So we're going to say 280 we minus 280 you minus 319. Okay, so okay, let's see what we get there. 280, going to take the 280, we're going to minus 319. This gives us minus 39. So I'm going to write minus 39 here. This will be minus 39. Then the difference between those two. Right. That's 243, guys. I think you also have to punch a calculator on your side just to save time. Eh? So 243 minus 280. This gives us minus 37. So I'm going to put minus 37 here. Then I need to say 208. Then we minus 243. So this is 208. We minus 243. Okay, let's see what is this one equals to negative 35. So I'm going to put negative 35 here. Therefore, I need to find the second difference. So it's like saying minus 37 minus into minus 39. So basically, this is minus 37. We add 39, which gives us positive 2. So the difference here is 2. The difference is 2. So if that's the difference, I'm going to say that okay, so this is the difference. Yeah? So I need you to pay attention on what I'm about to do now. Look at this. To find the value of A, you take the second difference, which is 2. You're going to say 2A is equal to that second difference. Solve for A. You can divide both sides and you'll find that the value of A is 1. Right. Then to find the value of this is 2A, it's equal to that. And to find the value of B, you use the formula 3A plus B. It's equal to the first term of the first difference. So therefore, I'm going to say 3A plus B. This should be equated to the first term of the first difference, which is negative 39. So you can see that already you know what is the value of A. The value of A is 1, where there's A, I substitute 1. And then let's solve for B. So therefore, B is equals to minus 39. I'm going to move the 3 to the other side. So the 3 goes to the other side to be negative 3. Therefore, the value of B is just minus 42. So that's B. Now, to find A, you use the formula A plus B plus C. You equate this to the first term of the sequence, which is 319. Okay, already you know what is your A, you know what is your B. You just have to substitute the values and isolate C. Find the value of C. So where there's A, I'm going to substitute 1. And then we add where there's B, we put minus 42. Then we still have plus C, this is 319. So this is the same as saying 1 minus 42 plus C, it's equal to 319. So when we say 1 minus 42, that's negative 41. So the negative 41, I'll take that to the other side, which would give me 319. We need to minus that 41. Okay, so I'm sorry, when it goes to the other side, it will be positive, right? it will be positive. So if I take the 1, I put it there, that's 320, then I add 40, that's 360. So the value of C is going to be 360 degrees. Right. So now, if you still remember, the standard form of a quadratic equation, we said that Tn is equals to an squared plus bn plus c. Right. So we know that the value of a is 1. So this will be 1 times that n squared. Then the value of b is negative 42. And then we have c, which is plus 360. So let's go and verify if this is what they wanted us to prove. So if I look at this n squared minus 42 and plus 360, yay. So we got it right. Né? So this is how you work on finding the nth term of the sequence. Now, can we go to the next question now? Can we go to the next question now? The next question says determine which term has the value of 0. Guys, when you get this type of question, which term you just know that whatever they are asking, like when they say which term, determine which term has the value of 0, this 0, it will be your Tn. So on your equation where there's Tn, you substitute 0 and solve for n. I hope that makes sense, okay? So let me write my 3. This will be 3.1.2. And remember, my Tn is equals to n squared minus 42n plus 360 degrees. So why 360 degrees? Okay, so now let's say which term. So where there's Tn, I'm going to put 0. And now I just have to solve for n. Guys, look at this number. This is a very big number, and I might have problems when it comes to factorize. Why do I have to keep saying 360? I might have problems, but look at this. I'm going to first take my calculator and put that 360 first. I want to see what I get. When I say shift, okay, let's say 360 equals to shift fact. So I know this won't work because I don't know what will happen from there. So I'm just gonna leave the shift first. So then you're going to use the quadratic formula. Look at this. You don't have to write this down. So you don't have to write this on your calculator. Quadratic formula is minus b, and the value of b is negative 42. So I'm going to say this is negative 42 inside the bracket plus the root of b squared. My b is negative 42. I need you to write the quadratic formula down, verify everything that I'm doing now. Then we minus 4 into a, which is 1, and then the value of c, that's 360. So I'm going to find my factors using a quadratic formula. This is divided by 2 into a, which is 1. So when I say equals to, I get 30. So this tells you that if n is 30, you're going to put n on both sides. Then that 30, you put it inside the bracket with a different sign. So it will be negative 30, so that when we solve, we'll definitely get what? When we solve, we'll definitely get n equals to 30. Then you go back to your quadratic equation, you change the sign there from positive to negative. So when you punch equal sign, we get 12. So the 12 should come as minus 12 in your bracket. I hope this makes sense. I hope you guys are happy with that. Therefore, what I'm going to do, I'll say that n minus 12 is 0, or we're going to have n minus 30 to be equals to 0. The value of n is 12, or the value of n is just 30. And that's your answer, because they said which term is equal to 0. It's either n is 12 or n is 30, will get 0. Let me move to the next question. So now we go to the 3.1.3. Which term in the sequence will have the lowest value? Guys, this one is very easy. Look at the mark allocation. It's very easy. So one thing I need you to remember, when they say the lowest value, what are we talking about here? The minimum value. So I'll explain this both in calculus and also how we do it in functions. Né? Is it functions? Yes, in functions. So this is a function question. 3.1.3, it has to do with functions. So you are given n squared. We know that Tn, let me write this down. So the quadratic equation is n squared minus 42n plus 36. 361. Okay, so now which term has the lowest value? So what are they asking here is that they need you to find the turning point, the x value of the turning point. I'll explain this now. First thing first, look at the value of a. If a is greater than 0, a quadratic equation will have a happy face. So if the quadratic equation has a happy face, this point here, that is my minimum value. As you can see that if this is the last point there, all the points going up will be greater than that point. So to find the turning point, when in function we use the formula x is equals to minus b over 2a. But in this case, instead of x, look at the formula is in the term of tn. So that will be n is equals to minus b over 2a. So when I do the substitution, n will be minus, where there's b, I need to put negative 42. And where there's a, I'm going to say this is 2 into 1. So what is that equals to? 42 over 2, that's 21. So this tells you that T21 is the one that has the minimum, the lowest value, T21. So at that point, T21 is the one that has the mean value. Right. Let me explain another way you can work on this using the what is this? You can work on this using the in calculus. Remember in calculus when we are looking for the turning points, which are the stationary points, we find the derivative. We're going to derive t at n. So the derivative is just 2n minus 42. Then we take the derivative, we equate that to what? To 0, and then we solve. So when you solve that, you can see that when we solve, we're going to have something like 2n it's equals to 42. Therefore, n it's 21. So T21 is the one that has the lowest minimum value. I hope you guys understand how this works. Moving to the next question, 3.2. Okay. On this question, they say that this is what I'm given. They say at the first three terms of an arithmetic sequence, very important to know that this is arithmetic. So I'm going to rewrite my sequence down and make sure that when you are rewriting your sequence, you rewrite everything correctly the way they are on the question paper, because you don't want to waste time solving incorrect questions. Né? So because whether you did not rewrite your problems correctly. So this will be my 3.2. What I'm given on 3.2, I have 3t, and then this is 4t minus 1, and then 23. So these are the terms that I'm given. Then the question is it's asking you to prove that t is 5. So in order for us to prove that t is 5, let's solve for t. Remember, if this is arithmetic, t2 minus t1 should be equal to t3 minus t2. So what I'm going to do in this problem, I'm just going to name my points as my t1, t2, and t3. So now I'm saying that t2 minus t1, it should be equal to t3 minus t2. So t2, that's 4t. Okay. So this is 4t. We minus 1, then minus t1, which is 3t. We equate this to t3, which is 23, minus t2. Please make sure that if t2 is more than one term, put it inside the bracket. 4t minus 1. Then the like terms, 4t minus 3t, that will give us, when I say 4t minus 3t, what is that equals to? 4t minus 3t, that's t, okay? This will be t minus 1. And the other side, we're going to have 23 minus 4t plus 1 if we multiply out the bracket by negative. So I'm going to group the like terms t, then bring the minus 4t this side to be positive 4t, and then let's equate this to 23, bring the 1 this side to be plus 1. So, this should be 23 plus that 1, which is 24. So this will be 24 plus 1, because I forgot to add those like terms. So this will be 24 plus 1. This side 5t, that's 25. 5t is equal to 25. Divide both sides by 5. By 5, therefore t is just 5. Easy, simple. Then you're definitely going to collect those marks. Right? That was 3.2.1. 3.2.2, calculate the first 50 terms of the series. So this is an arithmetic series. In order for us to calculate the sum of the first 50 terms, we need to write down the formula and do the correct substitution. So this was 3.2.1. Now I need to answer 3.2.2. Okay, so the formula for sum for arithmetic series goes like this. And you'll definitely get this formula at the back of your question paper. You just have to know this is for sum. So we are looking for sum of 50 terms, meaning that where there's n, I'll sub in 50. Okay, into 2, where there's a, I substitute the first term of the sequence. So now let's talk about that first term. The first term is 3t, right? So if the first term is 3t, we know that the value of t is 5. So this tells me that a will be the first term is like saying a, it's equals to, let me just try to find the perfect marker there. So I'm going to say a is equals to 3t, which is equals to 3 into t is 5, which gives us a to be 15. So where there's a, I'm going to sub in 50. So, but now we have another issue here. Now this makes sense why this question is 4 marks. So now I understand why the question is 4 marks, because we also have to find d. So if we need to find d, we need to rewrite down the sequence. So the first term we said is 15. And then the second term will be 3 times 4, that's 12. Wait, 3 times 4, that's 12. Am I saying this right? No. 3 times 5, 3 times 5. T, it's 5. 3 times 5, that's 20. We minus 1. The next term is 19. Then after 19, we have 23. The difference, 19 minus 15, this gives us the difference of 4. And this one also is 4. Therefore, now we know what is d, we know what is a. So the value of d, that's 4. We have the value of d, and we have the value of a. So a is 15, which is the first term of the sequence. You just have to take this information, substitute it correctly on that formula. So a is 15. We add into n, which is 50 minus 1 times 4. Right, another issue. I know you guys can make mistakes when you punch in the calculator. So you are more than welcome to just go straight on your calculator and put everything on the calculator and see what you get. Right, so this will be 50 over 2, which is 25. And then inside the bracket, we have 2 into 15. Close the bracket. Then we add 50 minus 1, that's 49. Close the bracket. This is multiplied by 4. And close the bracket. What is that equal to? 5,650. So sum of 50 terms is 5,650. And that's your answer. And that's it for this question. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was easy, right? This was easy. I hope you guys had fun. And I hope you guys understand how to collect marks on this one.